Thank you for coming today. And we will be going over the managerial economics overview for Ford. To start us off, we'll have Craig again.
I'm here to talk about the products offered by Ford. Ford is predominantly an automaker. They offer automobiles and trucks branded as Ford and Lincoln products, and they also manufacture parts to support their products on an ongoing basis. Additionally, they also have Ford Motor Credit, which is the finance arm to be able to finance the vehicles for their customer base. As far as what has changed for Ford, the base consumer product preference has changed. The consumer is demanding more economical offerings with integrated technology. The other thing that's changed is the realignment within Ford. They are refocused on their core brand. They eliminated the Mercury brand and they're just focused on Ford as their base model lineup and Lincoln as their luxury arm. As far as their customer base, Ford has a customer base that's international, both on a private and commercial basis. The commercial base is fleet sales and government sales, that type of thing, police departments, etc. What has changed within their customer base? The customer base again now demands a higher fuel efficiency and better base equipment package at a competitive price. One of the things Ford must do is adapt to compete in this market with their competitors, foreign and domestic. The customer base is very sensitive also to economic factors, which could affect the sales projections and models. Ford needs to examine this and look at the way that the consumer's tendency is to purchase new vehicles. People could actually end up holding on to vehicles longer based upon market trends. Up next to talk about consumer demand is Brene.
So Ford's consumer demand, the highest one right now is the EcoBoost. They produce over 100,000 engines every month. Target for 2013 was 1.2 million, 60% more than the year 2012. In 2010, Ford publicly introduced the EcoBoost engine. The consumer demand of the engine is increasing sales as of today, and that because of the EcoBoost, there is a 20% improvement in the fuel economy. So the cause of this demand is the fact that the cost of gas prices are increasing. It also is because of the United States Congress cap laws. That is, all automakers should produce vehicles with the greater fuel efficiency. The supply side, of course, is increasing the sales. It also has an edge up on the on competition. So Ford is an oligopoly, so therefore offering the EcoBoost engine allows Ford to continue to compete with other companies such as GM, Honda, etc. So up next we're going to have Robert continue on.
Looking at the last 10 years, there has been some big changes to the automobile industry. Some of those changes are due to the changes in demand. Consumers are looking for environmental friendly vehicles, and Ford has responded by producing vehicles that are eco-friendly, such as hybrids and electric vehicles. Rises in fuel costs have had a great effect on consumers' buying habits, purchasing those fuel-efficient vehicles and staying away from those gas hogs. Manufacturing and production has had a large effect due to the fact that these rising costs in production have limited the vehicles manufacturers' ability to produce those vehicles at a competitive price. Over the last 10 years, there has been a decrease in the United States employed, so we've had a rise in unemployment. This rise has had an effect causing people consumers not to want to buy the vehicles that are going to cost them more money, or just not wanting to get rid of the vehicle they currently have. Recently though, the United States has had a fall in the unemployment rate. This has spurred new purchases of vehicles. The automotive industry has responded in kind by increasing their hiring rate and increasing the staff on their manufacturing lines. structure and regulation. Competition in market structure has changed. The fuel efficiency of vehicles has increased as the demand for the higher efficient vehicle has risen. This has increased the competition as other competitors are able to fill the niche markets such as hybrids, electric, and hydrogen vehicles. This is a limited buy-in market where there's a high cost of entry. Innovation is welcome but poses large challenges as innovation is expensive and the companies that are doing so seem to be excelling at it very well. What we will see in the future is that large companies like Ford and Toyota will begin to purchase the copyrights or high efficient vehicles manufacturing processes and absorb those companies into them so that they can then in turn sell those high efficiency rate vehicles. Federal government has had a large effect over the last 10 years on Ford as a manufacturing company. There's been a lot of challenges in the recovery of the economy. The bailout has had one of the largest effects. Ford, as a company, did not need any bailout money. They were actually set up to weather the storm. They had a good business plan, but did not want to compete in a market where their competitors had access to these low interest rate funds. So in kind, they requested bailout money, ended up taking a low interest loan from the government so that they could funnel this money into their high efficiency vehicles to increase the rate of production. The success of Ford's decisions has been very clear and evident as they remain to be one of the largest market holders of the economy. New regulations and incentives, as the government tries to shift the economy to more fuel-efficient vehicles, they provide incentives to companies and increase regulations on vehicles that are not very fuel-efficient. The cash for clunkers, as well as regulations on the vehicle's ability to handle fuel or ethanol fuel. The regulation right now is at 10%. The government wants to increase it so that they can lower gas prices for the economy. A lot of the manufacturers are giving pushback as the vehicles require higher maintenance costs over the long term. Next up, we will have Jane on microeconomics.
Well, Ford continues to be the pioneer for in-car mobile communications. Technology will continue to lead the automotive industry in their mobility initiatives through cloud-based technology and partnerships with leading communication firms. Since 2011, Telogis, a global provider of the cloud-based software services, has also worked with Ford to include technology in commercial trucks and vans. This technology will continue to be tailored to the individual consumer and within their cars, and will be implemented in all of Ford vehicles in the next few years. The Ford crew chief that has the telematics solution is actually GPS software that allows for the trucks to have more accurate routes, track their deliveries, and manage the process and their workflows much better. So they're able to have better workflow for their operations. The information can be transferred between vehicles, and emergency medical professionals are actually using this as well. So they can get to the scenes for accidents and be able to communicate back to the hospitals in a more efficient manner. What this is also going to do is going to continue to connect vehicles the way that the consumer wants to be connected, just like you have your mobile phones. They're really laying out this blueprint for mobility model, and they're going to continue to work with that. What the regular everyday client wants is the sync infotainment system. The sync infotainment system allows you to do voice to talk to text, and also be able to work through your phone through the car, so it's more hands-free driving and more communication on the go, making it easier for our consumers. When it comes to vehicle models, like Renee said, the EcoBoost is a big demand right now, but we're also leaning into, for the next 5 years and ongoing forward, hybrid models. The hybrid model offers a gas with electric option. Then you also have a plug-in hybrid that can be plugged in at home or at these energy hubs. Then you also have all electric vehicles which can be plugged in at home or on the go. We'll continue to see these charging stations be available in additional cities throughout the United States and the rest of the world. What Ford is also doing is they're testing in aluminum body parts for lighter panels in their trucks. The only problem is that even though it's 700 pounds lighter, production for this is a little bit more expensive. So we're really gonna have to watch production and if it's even worth the time and the effort and manpower to even go in that direction, if we need to look at something else like the solar cars, which we're already working on. So for the macroeconomic scenario, when we're looking at the rest of the world and what's going on, we have increased sales in China, India, and Europe. And as China continues to loosen up those purse strings and want to buy more vehicles, we want part of that market, we want to really tap into it. India has been wonderful embracing Ford, and we're actually building 5 new facilities between China and India. And we're restructuring everyone to this one Ford strategy that has been working very well in the United States. So we're going to continue to do that, as well as using the manufacturing facility that is in India to produce, since it's the largest in-house facility, we're using that assembly line to produce for all these other 13 other countries that we're going to continue to ship the different parts to for Ford, and even for the U.S. With the U.S. Economy just still recovering, we're going to still continue to see that in the next 5 years. But the unemployment numbers are decreasing, wages are increasing, and that's giving us an increased purchasing power and allowing us to really tap into the consumer market. We're getting additional confidence, people are starting to invest back into Ford again, and really use us as one of those top brands, just like we used to be back in the early 90s. Next up, we have Jeremy with some suggestions for the U.S. market.
Thank you.
Okay.
We have, as a group, have a few suggestions for Ford to continue on here in the U.S. markets. We feel that we need to have some more energy efficient facilities. With the whole global world going green, it would be more effective for us to have more energy efficient factories. We also want to continue in our production of our solar cars and our additional hybrid cars. Again, with everybody going green, it's just technology that we have to follow the tide with. We would like to maybe partnership with some charging companies. As other companies are producing these solar cars, they are burdening the cost of building up on these charging stations. I feel that it would be great for us not to pay for them, but to just partner up with them and see if we can use their charging stations to fix our cars. We also like to keep creating our app-enhanced vehicles. With the world of technology, everybody's on the go. They always want to be in touch with their emails or their iPhones. Always want to be connected with their technology. We feel that we need to really continue on in that area. Our suggestions for the world market, like Jamie said, we will continue to develop efforts in the Asian markets and as well as India. It's a little bit cheaper labor costs over there. It's more growing than what we have here. We'd like to create Ford universities in emerging markets, not just for auto, but also for sustainability efforts, production, innovation, and software. We would like to maybe partner with Google to bring search engine to help optimize to the next level with increased communication and live person communication connections, whether that be via in the phone or just in everyday life. We'd also like to partner with Amazon and drone technologies to aid workers in the military with the enhancement of the military with all the drones that are being used. We feel like this might be some technology that we would like to step into. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below.